Okay, let's start the session. Today topic is IAM. IAM is nothing but identity and access management. Identity and access management. So, whenever we want to connect to any cloud service to load the data or to transfer the data from Snowflake, we need a certain communication is required between those two. Consider we are trying to connecting to AWS and we are trying to loading data into AWS to Snowflake as well as unloading data from Snowflake to AWS. But these both AWS and Snowflake are different entities. So there is no direct connection between these two entities. So we need a kind of some proper and secure connection is required. To do the secure connection, we need a kind of some permissions and user related permissions. For those, we need to understand this IAM service. IAM. This contains mainly one of the topic is users and groups. So IAM nothing but identity and access management, which is a global service. Root account created by default should not be used or saved. Whenever we are going to sign up for AWS account, we are going to use some mail ID. That mail ID account creation is a root account. So whatever the account is created using that particular mail ID, if you're trying to log in using that mail ID, that is the root account login, right? That is a root account. After logged in, we can create the as many users as we want. And this root account should not be used or saved. Means once you create your AWS account, once you create the AWS account using some mail ID, that is a root account mail ID, and that mail ID should be used only to create the other users. After that, we should not use that one, and we should not save these root account credentials to anyone, because once we lost this root account credentials, we cannot retrieve back. We need to connect to the AWS guys. Users are people within your organization and can be grouped. So what is the users in AWS? What is the users in AWS? So if you consider your organization, whoever the employees are there, nothing but the people or employees are the users in AWS. And these users can be grouped. Like for example, the developers, admins, HR people, kind of some tech team, kind of groups we can create and we can add it. Groups only contains users, not other groups. Groups contains users, not other groups. Means we cannot create the groups within groups. We can create the groups. Within groups, we can add only users. We cannot add groups within the groups. Users don't have to belonging to group, and users can belong to the multiple groups. And one user, consider any one user, that user can belonging to the multiple groups or can be without group also. Means user can be individual user or can be added to one group or can be added to the multiple groups. Means one user can be an independent without any group, without adding to any group, or can be in one group, or the same user can be in multiple groups also. Consider here, I am showing 6 users as an example. 6 users an example: Abhi, Jay, Ramya, David, Sai, and Raham. Right? There are the 6 users we have created in IAM, for example. Right? There are 6 from your organization. So what we can do? We can create a one group name is a developer. The developer roles are for Abhi, Jay, and Ramya. If Abhi, Jay, and Ramya are belonging to the developers, we can create the one group to them, right? Similarly, David and Sai from operation team, we can create the one group for them, and Raham is not relevant to any of these groups, so he can be outside of the groups. So we can, what we can say, we can create the groups for the multiple users, or we can create the user without group also. And this Ramya and David, they are also from audit team, right? The Ramya and David are also from audit team, so that we can create the separate group audit team, so that the Ramya and David are of audit team. So now you can see the Abhi and Jay from developers group. Ramya is from both the groups, developers group as well as audit team group. Similarly, David and Sai from operations group, and David is from operations team as well as a audit team. Like that, this David and Ramya is belonging to two groups. So what we can say, users can belonging to. Let me take it highlighter, right? Users can be belonging to multiple groups, right? Now Ramya is belonging to multiple group, developers and audit team. David is belonging to multiple groups, uh, from operation team and audit team. Where user don't have belonging to the group also, means Raham here does not belonging to the any group. He is an individual user. Okay. IAM permissions. So Uh, let's jump into AWS. We'll try to create the users first. I'm going to log in into my AWS account. See, this is the root user and this is the IAM user, right? Root user should not be used every time, and it should not save these credentials to anyone, right? For now, I'm going to use a root user, because this is our normal account, but in a real time, you should not use the root account. Okay. Now, search here IAM, identity and access management. Manage access to the AWS resources. Now this is IAM dashboard. This is IAM dashboard. Now we said like IAM is at a global level. If you see here, here not relevant to the any region. It relevant to the global. If you see here, you cannot select the any region. All are disabled because IAM is at a global level. Whatever user you are creating, that is at a global level. Okay. Now if you see here, there are some under IAM dashboard, there are some security recommendations, like they're asking to add the MFA, multi-factor authentication required. If you want, we can add the multi-factor authentication, right? And root user has a no active access keys. We'll discuss what is access keys and all, right? And now let me go back to the users here, right? I can create the user. Let me create the user called, some username called Abhi, right? And if you want the management console access to this user, what are the various type of access are available, we'll discuss later. For now, let me select this one, right? Now here there is a password is required. If when that user is need to log in to the management console, they need some password. That console password can be auto generated. This can be auto generated by the AWS itself, or if you want, we can create the our custom born password, right? uh, and the password, there is a password rule is there, must be 8 character length, must include the at least 3 of following mix of characters type, and uppercase letter, lowercase letter, numbers, symbols, and so on, right? Let me provide the some password, right? I have provided some password. And if you see here, user must create a new password at next sign in. For example, for example, whenever you are whenever you are using the any new ATM card or new debit card, whenever you got the new debit card or ATM card, you will get some password. So after trying to log in, even for the net banking also, they provided some password, default password, and whenever you are trying to log in for the first time, they ask you to change the password. They ask to change the password because that is the password provided by the AWS itself or company itself. That's why there is an option, user must create a new password at next sign in. Next sign in is only every first time. Whenever he is trying to log into first time, you need to change the password, right? Let me keep it this one. Click on next, right? For that user, we need to provide some permissions, right? Set permissions, right? Add user to group. If is there any existing groups, we can add this user to that group. As of now, no existing groups are there. If you want to create group from here itself, you can create the group. For now, we'll leave it. Copy permissions. Copy permissions. If already any existing users are there, for example, I have a 4 developers in my organization. The 4 developers having the different all these 4 developers are having some permissions. There is a new guy came, Abhi. We are adding to this as a user, and we want the same permissions to that guy also. Then we can copy from here. As of now, no users are there. This is created from scratch. That's why we cannot see any users, so that we cannot copy any permissions. We cannot. Guys, please hold on a minute. Sorry. There are no existing users that we cannot copy any permissions. Attach the new policy directly. For example, if I want to attach the policy is nothing but permission. Policy is nothing but permissions. Means I am going to create the user called Abhi user. What that user can do in my AWS account, that is the thing, right? For example, I am going to give the administrator access. When we give the administrator access, now he have the AWS manage job function. He administrator access is nothing but more or like a root account. He can do anything. He can do anything. So in a real time, whenever the new AWS account is created using the root using the particular mail ID, that is the root account. After, we need to log in using that root account, and we need to create the administrator first, and then we need to every time from there we need to log in using this administrator user, not with the root user. Okay, as of now I'm selecting the administrator access. Now go back to click on next, right? You can review. User details, name is Nabi. I have provided custom password, required the password reset, yes. Permission summary, these are the administrator access. I am user change password, because we have selected require password reset. That's why here it is showing I am user change password permission as well, right? Now if you want any tags, you can add tags. Click on create user. User created, return to user list. And if you want to download the console password, you can download here. Like for example, this one is there, right? Let me download this one for you. Go back here. If you see here, this is a username. Okay, and this is a password. Username, password, and this is console sign in URL. Console sign in URL, right? Let me go back here. Return to user list, right? Now if you see, you have one user. Let me try to log into this user. Go to dashboard, right? Already we have a sign in URL, the same this one, right? This is the one, sign in for IAM users. For the AWS root account, directly you can go the simply console login. But for this IAM user are belonging to this particular account, and this is my account ID 3658852888093. You can see here. This is my account ID, right? This is my account ID. Sorry. See, this is account ID, right? And you can see here 3658822888093, right? This is my account ID. This I am user. This Abhi is I am user belonging to this account ID. That's why we need to use this URL, right? Let me go back and try to login. Copy this one. Go here. Paste this URL. Enter. Right? Now see, automatically Now you are using IAM user sign in. This account ID or alias name, right? And here you can pass the username, right? Let me go back to the sign in to the root user account ID. Now if you see here, here you can see two options. One is a root user, another one is an IAM user. This is what we will get when you are simply search for console login. You can see these two options. If you have this option, click on IAM user. You need to provide the account ID, right? Go back here. So it's signed out. Let me log in again. I'm going to log in. What I do, uh, let me open new incognito mode where AWS management console, right? Sign in. Now you can see IAM user sign in, IAM user sign in, or you can go with the root account. For example, if you see kind of some root account, you need to log in, you need to log in as a IAM user. Select this IAM user, provide the account ID. Where you will get account ID? Go to the Snowflake account. This is my account ID. Simply copy this one and paste over here. Click on next. Now it will ask the username. Username is Adi. Provide the password. Right? Let me click on sign in. Now I'm able to sign in, but we selected like we need to change the password or first sign in. That's why it is asking to password reset. Let me provide the password, old password, new password. Right? Now go and confirm password change. Done. Continue to sign in again. Right? Now we have logged in. Let me minimize this one and also minimize this one as well. Now I'm keeping that. Now I'm keeping uh, two accounts side by side. Two accounts side by side. For example, if you see here, here you can see directly account ID. If you drop down, you can see account ID and other options. Now, if you see here, here you can see Abhi. Abhi is IAM user. Here SDK or AWS. This is a account name I provided while creating my main account, right? But here it is an Abhi, right? See, and also if you place cursor over there, Abhi at the rate of account ID, you can see Abhi at the rate of account ID. Account ID is nothing but 3658 8528 But if you place cursor on this one, just it will show my account name. That's all, right? So let me go back here and for example, this is the URL ID. Let me go back here. Let's go here. This is the same what we got. This is the same what we got. But sometimes it's difficult to remember 3658852 and all. What we can do? We can do alias for account name. We can do alias. We can create account alias name. For example, create this one. Let's say for example, I'm going to give this access to the developers. Dev. Sometimes it may or may not be available. Click on create alias. Account alias is not created. Let me go to create and for example SDKR IAM SDKR IAM. Click on create alias. Now created. Now instead of C, automatically it changed. Copy here, go back here. If you see here, previously what we have, https account id dot sign in dot aws amazon.com/console. Now instead of this account id, simply you can pass sdkr IAM, right? You can pass kind of some alias names for easy remember. Let us try to log in. Now what I will do, I will try to log out here. Sign out. I will close this one. Simply I will pass the my new customized or aliased login URL. Now directly it will go to the IAM user login, and here previously we had a account ID, now alias name, right? See, account ID or alias name, you can pass whatever you want, right? Provide the username Abhi, password. Now you need to pass the new password, right? Because it's already we have a reset the password. Now I'm able to log in. Now you can see Abhi, right? This is how you can create the users. Let's go back to our slides. Okay, now I am permissions. Now I am permissions. Before that, let me try to create the one. Now let me try to create the one group also. Right now, see under dashboard you can see one user. There are the three roles are there. Let me try to create the groups. Right. Click on user groups. You can click here or from there. Click on the create group. I will provide the group name as developers. Right, developers. And you can add users if you want right now, or you can add later also. I am going to add here right now. And if you want to attach the some policy, you can attach the policy. Let's say for example, uh, I am read only access, for example, right? Or will go with the administrator only. Same one, administrator access. Now go and create the groups. Now we have created the group, right? Now developer group created. If you click on the developers, you can see just there is a one user. If you go to the permissions, there is administrator access are there, right? Now let me go to the users, click on username. There is a administrator access. I'm going to remove these two because now anyway I have added to group. I'm providing the group permissions, right? Okay, go back to my slide. I have permissions. Users or groups can be assigned JSON document called policies, right? So whenever we create the user is an employee in your company, and we can create the groups and we can add the users to the groups. And just creating the users or groups, nothing will happen. They don't have any permissions to do anything in AWS. To do something, we need to attach the policy. What is the policy? Policy is nothing but permissions which are available in the JSON document. These policies define the permissions of users. This will define the permissions. What permissions that particular user should have is given by the policies. In AWS, you apply the least privilege principle. That is, the don't give more permissions than the user needs. Means for that particular user, whatever required, that permission only you need to give. For example, there are different services are available in AWS. Different services are available in AWS. For example, a developer should have access to the EC2, RDS kind of some permissions, for example. And we should not provide the machine learning permission because that is belonging to the other group of people or other users. Like, so you need to assign the permissions whichever actually required to that user. So that's all we say. Give the least privilege principle, right? And this is permissions or policy, right? This permission says that we'll explain in detail about this one. As of now, just see this one. Okay. IAM policies inheritance, right? For example, if you see here, there is a developers group previously we created, right? Abhijay, Ramya belonging to the developer groups. Similarly, David, Sai, Raham from operations team, and sorry, David and Sai from operations team. Raham is an individual, and Ramya, David also belonging to the audit group. So if I create the policy, if I attach the policy, see, policy can be attached to the directly to user. Policy can be directly attached to the user. That is called an inline policies. If policy directly attached to the user, just now we created the user called Abhi and we attach the administrator access. That is the inline access or inline policy attached, right? Or we can attach the policy to the user, sorry, policy to the group. Just now we created the group called developers and we attach the administrator access policy that group, so that if we attach the policy to group, that policy will applicable to all users in that group, right? Similarly, if you see here, I am attaching the one policy to the developers group, so that this policy applicable to all these three users. And similarly, if we attach the policy to the audit team group, so that the Ramya and David belonging to that group, they will attach this policy. And operations team, for the operations team we attach the one policy, so that that policy applicable to David and Sai. This is the inheritance of the policies. IAM policy structure, how the policy is there, right? It consists of first one is a version, right? It says the policy language version always include the 2020, 12, 10, 17 something, right? ID is nothing but identifier of your policy. It is an optional actually. They mentioned S3 account permissions. Now we have a statement. Here we have a statement. One or more individual statements required, right? One or more. What is the statement? Statement says that what is the policy to whom we are going to attach. Complete this information within this open bracket to close bracket comes under the statement. This statement says that whether you want to allow or follow. This statement contains this one: SID, effective, principal, action, resource, right? So statement consisting of SID nothing but an identifier for that particular statement. See, this ID is the ID for entire policy, whereas SID for statement ID, identifier for the statement. Again, it is an also optional. Effect, whenever you are creating one policy, there are two options to effect whether should allow or deny. For example, I am going to create the one user. I don't want to allow them to use IAM creation. Means he can be admit, he can use any, he can access to the almost all services, but not IAM. Then we can use the deny option. To IAM service. Right? If you want to allow only one service, for example, if you want to give the only EC2 instance services, then you can select the EC2 allow. If you want to deny only one service, then select the deny. So effect says that whether you want to, statement says whether the allows or denies. Okay. Principal says that this statement is belonging to connected to account or user or role to which this policy is to be. For which policy we are going to apply this statement says that, right? If you see here policies under AWS, this is the ARN. If you remember, yesterday we said that each resource having the name called ARN, Amazon resource name. Here ARN colon AWS colon IAM double colon, this is the account ID and this is the root is the username. Like that we can assign. And the next one is an action. Action which says the list of actions this policy allows or denies. What are the various actions we need to take care for this policy? This says that action. See here S3 get object. Get means it is list the all the objects. Get object. S3 put object. These are the kind of some HTTP protocols will take care by the action. Right. The next one is resource. Resources, list of resources to which this action is to be applied. So we have created the one action S3 to which we want to apply. We want to apply to S3 bucket. That is the resource. S3 bucket here is a resource, right? See, we can add to the multiple buckets or single buckets depending upon our requirement. Okay. And the last one is a condition. Oops. Condition is an optional. Condition for when this policy is effective, it is an optional actually. Okay, IAM password policy. Now, just now we created the one user called Abhi. For that user, we provide the AWS management console access. For that, we provide the policy, password. That password, that password should be how much long length, whether you should have the uppercase letter or lowercase letter or special characters. That is going to create under password policy. Strong passwords is nothing but higher security for your account. So in AWS, you can set up password policy, right? Set a minimum password policy. Set a minimum password length. What is the password policy contains? Minimum length means minimum 3 characters, right? Minimum 4 characters. Depending upon requirement, we can configure. Next, required specific character types. Whether you want uppercase letter or lowercase letter, number or special characters, you need to select this option. It includes the uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, non-alphanumeric characters and all. Allows all IAM users to change their own password. For example, I created the username, I created the one user, and I provided the I consider I am an admin. I provided the user and I assign to them. After that, we can say that whether that particular IAM user can be able to change their own password or not. This is the option we can provide. Let's just now we created the user called Abhi. After logged in, he can change password in the future, or we cannot provide access to change password. If you allow them, they can change. Otherwise, they will request to the administrator to change the password. That is the option, right? Require users to change their password after some times. For example, we can provide the password expiration. After 90 days, they need to change the password by themselves or through administrator, depending upon the above configuration, right? Prevent password reuse. For example, whenever he is going to change the password, we can say that you should not use old 3 password. You should not use old 5 password. Like we can prevent the password reuse option. Uh, for example, I provide the password is called India at the rate of 345. And after that, he is trying to reset the password. When he is resetting, he should, if I provide the password is equal to 3, he cannot use that password again, right? Because we provide the password reuse option, so that he cannot use previous 3 password which he used previously. Okay, let's go back to account. We'll try to work on this one. Click on account settings. Here you can see password policy, right? Click on edit. Click on edit. IAM default or custom 2 options are available. Apply default password request, right? This is the default password what AWS provided. If you want the custom one, click on custom one. And here you can see what is the minimum password length. For example, 8 characters. You can change between the 6 to 128. You can change between the 6 to 128 based on our requirement. For example, if I provide the 10, right? And next, password strength. Required at least one uppercase letter. If required uppercase letter, select these options. Required one lowercase letter, select these options. Required one number, select these options. If you want the at least one alphanumeric characters, and these are the different alphanumeric characters. If you select these options while creating the password, he must use this one, right? If you want to password expire after few days, for example, for every 90 days, you need to change the password. If you know your debit card or credit card or net banking, they will ask to change the password after 90 days or 180 days, because to make the password up to date, right? If you want to select this on 90 days, for example, if I select the 90 days, after 90 days, the user must and should change the password. Password expiration require administrator reset. For example, if you select this option, he cannot reset. After expire, he need to contact the administrator, right? Otherwise, if you disable this one, password expiration will take care by that particular user only. And also allow users to change their own password. If you select this option, they can change their own password. And password prevent password reuse. For example, if you provide the 3 means let me go back here. For example, I am providing the password is called India at the rate of 145. This is the first password, and he is going to change it. For example, next he provided called gen at the rate of 393 something 9, and also we need to because minimum 10 characters we provided, right? That's why we need to use this one. Some password you can pass. Like I have a two password. Now I am going to change the password again. I should not use these two. I should use the new one. That is says this password something like that. Okay. If you want to these options, you can save changes, right? If you want these options, you can change, right? Or you can cancel it. This is the password reset, right? Now go back to the slides. Next one is the multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. So about this one, we already discussed in the Snowflake. Again, let's discuss. Multi-factor is nothing but second level of security. Users have access to user account and can possibly change the configurations or delete resources in your AWS account. You have an option to change the configurations and all. You want to protect your root account and IAM users, we can go with the multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is nothing but passwords you know plus security device you want, right? We sound right, RSA tokens, DO1, something like that. There the different options are available, right? Passwords you know means your username and password. Additionally, you should have the some security device, or even app are there, Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticators and all, right? There also you can see. For example, Vijay is there. He tried to log in, provide the username and password. On top of that one, when he provide the MFA, if he configured, we need to pass the MFA device will provide the some key, some 6-digit code. You need to pass that one. Then only successful login. Otherwise, you cannot log in, right? Why it is required? What are the benefits? What are the benefits of this one? If password is stolen or hacked, for example, if your password is stolen and hacked, then if there is no MFA, they can log into your account, they can store your data. If it is an MFA is activated, even a hacker is stolen or hacked our password, he cannot be able to log in, because after providing username and password, it will ask for the MFA device related that whatever the code is required. That is not available with that hacker, because that is there in my mobile or as a physical device. That's why he cannot able to log in. Okay. This is a kind of some MFAs options are available. For example, this is the Google Authenticator. If you selected this Google Authenticator, continuously it is going to generating these things, these codes. After you provide the username and password, you need to provide this name, this code also. Then only you can log in. Support for multiple tokens and a single device, right? There is option called Ati, another application. And if you have a kind of some physical device, same like we have a same like we have a RSK token. This does not generate the any code. Simply you need to keep like our pen drive. You need to keep like this our pen drive. Then only we can able to log in, right? Next, go back to the our console and click on dashboard, right? You can see here add MFA, or go to account setting. There also you can add a MFA also. Click on add MFA, right? Click on add MFA. You can provide the MFA device. For example, my MFA device. You can give any name, right? And here we have different options: passkey or security key, right? These are the three options we have for configuration of MFA. Authenticate using fingerprint, face, or screen lock. Create the passkey on this device. Use another device like or use another device like Fido security key. Just now we shown this one, right? This one, this is the one option for this one. Or your laptop if support for the thumb authentication, like fingerprint, right? Fingerprint, you can use fingerprint option. Or screen lock, your system is having the screen lock. If you remember, just now when I was trying to passing the password, it is asking for some pop-up came, right? That's what showing this passkey option, right? Either you can fingerprint or screen lock or create a passkey in top of that one, or use another device like this one. You need to keep this one. Okay. Second one is an authenticator app, right? Authenticate using the code generated by an app installed on your mobile device, like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator. This one you can use this option. The third one is a hardware top token, like we shown, right? RSA token, like this one, third one, right? Right? Third option. For example, if you select this first option, you can provide the password and all, right? And let me go here. If you want some information, you can see checking for image status, best practices, and let me go with AWS supported MFA mobile apps, mobile application. AWS supports the Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, ATI, Dio Mobile, One Password, Last Password Authenticator. Kind of these are the supported. These are the supported mobile applications, right? Even whenever you are going with whenever you are going with this option, this option, right? And whenever you are trying to create this one, take care. Once you forget the password or authentication key, then it's very difficult, right? Don't try to create this one. Okay, I'm going to cancel this one. Okay. Go back to here. Now, how can users access the AWS? How the users can access the AWS? There are the three ways to access the AWS. We have the three options. One is AWS Management Console, protected by the password and MFA, right? Just now we created the user called Abhi, and we have logged into IAM User Management Console. This is the first option. The second option is AWS command line interface. Command line interface nothing but CLI. CLI nothing but command line interface protected by the access key. In the command line interface, we need to pass the access keys. We need to pass the access keys and the secret keys. We'll see. AWS software development kit. For the code, for example, if any application want to connect to the AWS, we cannot pass the password or we cannot provide the access keys on the fly. For example, there is one application, that application want to connect to the Snowflake, then it will use the SDKs of AWS software development kits. These also provided the access keys. Means in the code itself, we need to pass this access keys that will use that one. Okay. Access keys are generated through AWS console. We can create the access keys from AWS console, right? Users manage their own access keys, right? Users can manage their own access keys. Access keys are secret, just like a password, don't send them. Access keys are very secret because once you share the access keys, they've been able to log in your account. Access key and username. Secret key is the password. Access key is like our username. I provide the username called Abhi, right? That is like an access key, and this is the password is a secret key. It will generate the two keys. Whenever you click on the create the access keys, it will generate the two. One is an access key, another one is a secret key. Access key is like a username, like an Abhi. Secret is like our password. If you see, this is the example. After under user creation, we can see option called create access key. If you select, click on this option, you can see access key, and you can see some this secret key as well, right? And this is these are the fake things, just dummy I provided. Okay. Remember, don't share your access keys, right? Now let me go back here. Let me go to the users. Click on Abhi, right? Under here, you can see click on security credentials. Here you can configure MFA or you can see access keys. As of now, there is no access keys are there. Let me click on create access key, right? For what purpose you are going to use, for the command interface or local code or application using running a compute services, third party service, AWS running outside of the AWS, right? You need to select this one. For example, I'm going to select the for command line interface, right? Click on next. I need to confirm this one, click on next, right? Description, if you want any tag, you can provide the tag. Let's say, for example, Abhi credentials. Click on create. Now if you see here, access key we can see and secret key we can see, right? And you need to download this one. See, access key best practices: never store your access keys in a plain text in a code repository or in a code. For example, whenever you are dealing with, let me go back to here. Whenever you are dealing with this software development SDKs, you need to pass your access keys in the code. So never store access keys in a plain text. You should not keep as like plain text. You need to encrypt and share over there. Disable or delete the access keys when no longer needed. If you don't want to, you can disable you need to disable or you can delete your access, because if these are stolen, your account is there hackers hand, right? Enable least privilege permissions, provide the minimum permissions, and rotate access key regularly. If you want to continuously using, you need to generate the access keys continuously, like rotate, like for every 10 days or 90 days you can create the access keys, right? Again, I am going to download this CSV file, because let me show you this one, right? And click on done. Now if we go to secret credentials under this one access keys, you can see access key, you cannot see secret key, that is the password. That's why we have downloaded, then only it is with you. Go here and open here. Now this is my access key as well as this is my secret key, right? Access key this one, secret key this one. Okay, this is how we can create. Okay, let me go back to users. I am going to here. What is an AWS CLI? AWS CLI is nothing but it is a tool that enables you to interact with the AWS services using the command line interface, right? So direct access to the public APIs of AWS service. You can develop the scripts to manage your resources, and this CLI command line interface also is available in Snowflake. Will work there as well, right? It is a open source, and leave all these things, the general thing, alternative to the using AWS management console. This is like this, right? uh, Now let me go back here. I will try to configure AWS CLI download, right? Installing and updating the latest version of AWS CLI. For Windows we want download the AWS CLI. It's downloading. Go here, click on, double click on that one, it will install. It's a kind of some putty tool, just like that one. Click on next, accept the license agreement, click on next, next, install. Click on yes. It's installing.
Sir, the policies are created for our
Yeah,
software.
we have policy creation and all we have in the next coming slides.
Sir, root user కి IAM user కి difference ఉంది.
రూట్ యూజర్ అంటే మనం ఎప్పుడైతే ఫస్ట్ ఒక మెయిల్ ఐడి ఇచ్చి క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం కదా, అది రూట్ యూజర్. అది వచ్చేసి ఒక ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మనం అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒక మెయిల్ ఐడి ఇచ్చింటాం. ఆ మెయిల్ ఐడి ద్వారా లాగిన్ అయితే అది రూట్ యూజర్. ఆ రూట్ యూజర్ లాగిన్ అయిన తర్వాత మనం డిఫరెంట్ యూజర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. మనం ఈ ఐఆమ్ యూజర్స్ అనేటువంటిది ఏదైతే మనం యూజర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో అవి ఐఆమ్ యూజర్స్, ఐఆమ్ లోపల క్రియేట్ చేసి యూజర్స్. ఆ యూజర్స్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐఆమ్ యూజర్స్ మనకు మిస్ అయిన ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. రూట్ యూజర్ మిస్ అయింది అనుకోండి, తర్వాత మనం అకౌంట్ను రికవర్ చేయలేము. కాబట్టి ఆల్వేస్ రికమెండేషన్ ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ రూట్ యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత రూట్ యూజర్ ఉపయోగించుకుని ఒక ఐఆమ్ యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసేసి అతనికి అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్ యాక్సెస్ ఇస్తాం, అంటే ఫుల్ యాక్సెస్. ఆ తర్వాత రూట్ యూజర్ను వచ్చేసి డిజేబుల్లో పెడతాం. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైం రూట్ యూజర్ అసలు యూజ్ చేయం రియల్ టైంలో, ఎప్పటికీ ఐఆమ్ యూజర్ ఉపయోగిస్తూ ఉంటాం. ఎందుకంటే ఏదైనా రాంగ్ అయినా కూడా ఐఆమ్ యూజర్ ఏదైనా మిస్ప్లేస్ అయినా కూడా మనకు రూట్ యూజర్ నుంచి మళ్ళీ దాన్ని మనం మాడిఫై చేయొచ్చు. కానీ రూట్ యూజర్ మిస్ప్లేస్ అయితే మనం ఏం చేయలేం. ఓకే, let's open command line place. Now we configure, check for AWS version. If you select this one, if you get some success message, then our installed. See, now it is installed, AWS CLI, something like that. Now I want to connect to my AWS account using this one. For that you need to pass AWS configure, right? Now it is asking the AWS access key, right? So go back to our file where we have, this is the key I want. Copy this one, open console, paste this one, enter. Now it is asking for the secret key. Copy this secret key and paste here, enter. Now default region. If you want to the specific, now I am going to see, whenever you are logging to your AWS account, you are providing the username as well as password. Similarly, username is like our access key, password is like our secret key. After logging, you may need to select the some region, right? In which region you want to create the issue instance, maybe Mumbai or Sydney or US North, something like that. You can, if you want to pass here, or you can simply ignore. Default output format, for example, whether you want the text format or JSON format, you can pass it or you can ignore. Now I have connected to my AWS account. For example, let's say for example AWS IAM list users. Access denied. See what I'm getting the access denied, right? Let me go back to my account. Users. Now see, this user belonging to no groups, and also this user does not have any permission. That's why I'm getting error. Now let me go back here, add the permission called, click on add permission, because no permission is there, just it's a dummy user. We have removed that one. Add user, attach the policy, for example administrator access. Click on next, click on add permissions. Right, now I have added. Now go back to console again, CLI again, try again. Now see, it returned some response. This is the command I have executed. AWS IAM list users means who are the users. See, there is only one user called Abhi. Right, there is only one user called Abhi. Let's go back to my here. I am going to under users. I will try to create the one more user called J. Provide the AWS management console access. Auto generate password, click on next. I am going to not provide any permissions, click on next, click on create user. One more user created. Now I will go to console. I will clear the screen. I will clear the screen. Now I am going to execute the again same command. I am listed. Now it will return the two users. See, there is a user called Abhi, as well there is a user called J, two users. Like that we can connect to AWS using the CLI command line interface. Okay, now go back here. Let me connect charger to my okay. Now go back to our slides. Now roles. There is an option called roles in a service, right? Roles for service. Some AWS service will need to perform the actions on your behalf of. For example, just now we have created the user. User can do some permissions based on our based on permission. User can do something based on our permissions. For example, um, if you provided the S3 access to a particular user, he can do. Let me open a paint. I will explain. For example, I have one user. I have my AWS account, and also inside that one I have a kind of some bucket is there, right? I have a one user here. He can connect to this bucket if we have a permission or policy attached. Policy attached. There is a service called an EC2. EC2. If this EC2 instance want to connect to this bucket, how they can connect? This is not user. We cannot attach the policy to them, right? This is not user. We cannot attach the policy to the EC2 service. For that, we have option called roles. So that roles came into picture. Roles came into picture, right? So how see here? For example, same you can consider this is my EC2 instance. This EC2 instance connect to the some AWS service, maybe S3, maybe S3, right? For that, what we need to create the role first. We need to create the role first, and then we need to attach the policy to role, and we need to attach that role to the AWS EC2 instance. See, some AWS services will need to perform actions on your behalf of. Means this EC2 do some action without intervention, right? So to do so, we will assign permissions to AWS services with IAM roles. Using roles, we can attach the permissions to the service. Okay. Common roles, EC2 instance roles, Lambda function roles. These are the some common roles. Okay. Roles for cloud formation and all. Now, I will show you this about the next session. For now, just what are the guidelines we can see. So, don't use the root account except for AWS account setup. This is the main important thing. Root account should be used for only AWS account setup only. After that, you should not use it. One physical user is equal to one AWS user. Okay, whatever the employee in your organization, that is the AWS user, right? Assign users to groups and assign permissions to groups. We can assign users to groups and assign permissions to groups, right? We can assign users to groups as well as permissions to groups. Create a strong password policy. We shown how we can create the strong password policy. Use and enforce the use of multi-factor authentication. It is always recommended in real time. Multi-factor authentication is required. Create and use the roles for giving permissions to AWS services. We can create and use the roles for giving if you want to connect AWS service to service, means just now we shown, right? We can use the roles. Use access keys for programmatic access like CLI or CSDK. For example, if you want to connect through CLI or SDK, CLI nothing but command line interface, just now we saw. SDK nothing but software development kits. Software development kits, we can use access keys. Audit permissions for your account using the IAM credentials report and IAM access advisor. Means you need to audit your credentials regularly to make to make safe for your account. Never share IAM users and access keys. You should not share the IAM user credentials or access keys and the secret keys. Summary: users map to physical user had password for AWS console. The physical user nothing but IAM user having the password to log into AWS console. Groups contains the users only. We can attach the policies to groups. Policies JSON document that outlines the permissions for users to groups. Okay. Roles for each instance or other AWS instances, we can attach the role. Role contains the policies. Security nothing but MFA plus password policy. AWS CLI manage your AWS services using the command line interface. SDKs software development kits to connect programmatically. Access keys having the using CLI and SDK. You need to audit your credential reports regularly. Okay, this is about the this is about our IAM, and also few more things are there I want to show. Tomorrow session I will show how we can create the policy, how we can create our custom roles, custom policies. We can see all these things, right? Any doubts here? We'll see how we can create the policies, how we can create the roles in the coming session, tomorrow session. Okay.
సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ఆర్ అంటే డేటా లోడ్ కోసమే కదా సార్ ఇదంతా చేస్తుంది?
డేటా లోడ్ కోసం అని కాదు, ఫస్ట్ ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ నుంచి స్నోఫ్లేక్ మధ్యలో కనెక్షన్ కావాలి కదా మనకు.
ఓకే.
దానికోసం మనం నెక్స్ట్ స్నోఫ్లేక్లో మనం లెట్ మీ ఓపెన్ ఎ పెయింట్. స్నోఫ్లేక్లో ఏం చేస్తామంటే నెక్స్ట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ మై స్నోఫ్లేక్ అకౌంట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ మై ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ అకౌంట్, రైట్? ఇక్కడ నాకు డేటా ఉంటుంది. ఈ డేటా నేను స్నోఫ్లేక్ తేవాలా. స్నోఫ్లేక్ తేవాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఈ రెండు మధ్య నాకు కనెక్షన్ కావాలి, బికాస్ బోత్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఎంట్రీస్. How they will connect, because both are independent entities. For that you may need to create the user or credentials or policies, roles, అవన్నీ మనకు అర్థం కావాలి. అందుకోసం అని చెప్పేసి ఈ టాపిక్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాం మనం. నెక్స్ట్ ఇది కనెక్షన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు మీకు ఇంకా క్లారిటీ వస్తుంది. ఆల్సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్స్ వచ్చేసి మనకి ఎస్ఎన్ఎస్, ఎస్క్యూఎస్ అని ఉంటాయన్నమాట. ఎందుకు ఇవి? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక ఫైల్ ఇక్కడ S3 బకెట్లో యాడ్ అయింది అనుకోండి, అది ఆటోమేటిక్గా నాకు స్నోఫ్లేక్లోకి రావాలా, దానికి స్నో పైప్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఆ స్నో పైప్లో ఎస్క్యూఎస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఫైల్ యాడ్ అయిన తర్వాత సక్సెస్ అయినా ఫెయిల్ అయినా నాకు మెయిల్ కావాలి, దానికోసం ఎస్ఎన్ఎస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఈ రెండు వచ్చేసి ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ సర్వీసెస్. టుమారో మనం ఐఎంలో కొంచెం పెండింగ్ టాపిక్ అండ్ ఎస్ఎన్ఎస్ ఎస్క్యూఎస్ చేస్తే అడికి ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ కంప్లీట్ అయిపోతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ విల్ జంప్ ఇంటూ స్నోఫ్లేక్.
సో మెయిన్లీ AWS, GCP.
జీసీపీ, అజూర్ అటువంటివి రేర్, చాలా తక్కువ కంపెనీస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాయి. మోర్ దాన్ 80% ఆఫ్ కంపెనీస్ యూజింగ్ ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ ఉంది. No doubts? Okay, if no doubt, that's all for today. Thank you.